Action. So Dune, the sequel, came out. If you watched our first
Having no mics frees us up to be way over the top.
Yeah, no kidding.
If you were looking for something that's not Star Wars,
You found it.
that's like actually high quality sci-fi,
You found it.
I think we might actually have
We
it.
found it. We get laser guns.
We do.
We get spaceships. We get cool
We do get off-world stuff, but only
helicopter things.
They're ships. We didn't talk about it in the other review.
Ornithopters.
That's awesome.
They're fucking
They're
dope.
dragonflies.
They're dragonflies
They're flying
as ships.
And it's like.
Yeah, I like the flapping. Yeah, it's very cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
talk about that. That was one of the coolest. The CGI in this movie looks so good. The budget on this one was $190.
But that's not
Compared still
That's
to
not
like
that much.
To
that's not that
the
much.
300 million movies that like that. What Indiana Jones was 350 and
Ugh,
Mission
yeah.
Impossible was
Ugh.
300.
Yeah. That's pretty solid.
That's not bad.
That's pretty solid budget. I love this movie.
You loved this movie.
I left the theater and immediately
You
picked
saw
up the
it before
book.
me. You literally texted me, "Look what I bought," and you had the book. And I was like, "Oh my god!"
Like 10 minutes after I left the theater.
you
Yeah.
liked that movie.
I loved this fucking movie. I don't know why. I thought maybe because everything's shot in IMAX and I'm a sucker for a
It's a
good
gorgeous
looking movie.
It's a gorgeous.
It's a beautiful film. It looks amazing. The action's great. The characters are solid.
It's the first movie turned up a little.
Yeah.
I still feel like they leave you.
Take all that context you learned from the first movie, right?
Mhm.
And put it in the back of your head and use it to watch this movie. Because
True.
it's like, this is the entire reason you spent 2.5 hours
There's still
watching
like
that
another
first one.
45 minutes of he's got to drink the lifeblood and he's got to believe the prophecy and he has to go. So it's like
Yeah.
you could have just made the first one just 3 hours instead of 240 and gotten the rest of that
Yep.
out of the way. Maybe
Yep.
he drinks the lifeblood and falls into that coma. This is early in the movie, so I'm not spoiling. But like when he drinks that and he's, he could have ended the first movie with like, is he gonna wake up?
Yeah, or with like her becoming the Reverend Mother.
Right.
Like, there's a lot of points
That's
where you
my
could have
only
like,
issue. They, and then
take-
you had even more time to really
take the 45 minutes of this movie, tack it on to the end of the first one, and you still would have gotten a pretty complete movie with the first one. It's like the
No,
first one
100%.
ends with like you just starting to learn all the Fremen shit, and like this one picks up and he's still learning all the Fremen
Because
shit.
it feels like the Fast and the Furious ending. Like we're
Yeah.
like right in the middle of a scene. See you in 2 years,
It's
3
not
years.
that egregious.
No, but it's pretty
But
close.
it's pretty close. It is probably the closest
That was
example.
the
Yeah.
weakest part of the movie was they literally end.
And it ends.
You're
This
like-
is only the beginning. I'm like, yeah, I was watching that.
Can we-
Why'd you change the channel? I was watching that. Yeah. I loved Dune 2. I think the cast members involved, Austin Butler, who I'm not like the biggest fan
He
of,
killed it though.
fucking killed it. As
Creepy.
Fade Rother, who's got the coolest fucking sci-fi name in any goddamn movie ever.
By the way,
yeah.
their little protector shields they wear are
Yeah.
both the coolest thing and yet apparently the most useless thing ever. I hate that.
Well, if you attack slow, you can penetrate them. Like, well, that's a weird.
Then why? Who
It's a-
built that?
It's a weird defect to have.
Yeah, I'm coming to get you. Oh, you better stop me. It's literally
Better
what-
dodge out the way. What do you mean? If I can just move my arm really fast, then it'll be like you're coming at me fast to
Yeah,
the
or
shield.
or you have like they have the things they shoot that do the anti-vibrating that vibrate
yeah.
the other way.
Yeah, those
so
are
they
dope.
can
That they shoot
pop
at like the
shield.
helicopter thing. Yeah, yeah.
So I love the sci-fi tech. I love because it looks both 3,000 years ago, but futuristic at the same time.
Yeah, that's why I
Especially
think I
this
like
one.
it.
Yeah,
because it's
it
like
does
this
this-
tribal like people have like cool sci-fi lasers.
You kept
Like,
saying it'd be like if they did Star Wars and they, for the most part, never left Tatooine.
Never left
Everything
Tatooine.
came there.
everything came there.
And
like Vader goes there.
And you just
yeah.
like, I want to see the rest of the universe because they show you a little bit of this planet and a teeny bit of this planet, but mostly you're here.
Like, I want to get off this world. I want to see what this universe has to offer. But it's like,
Well, 'cause they
you
say
haven't
that's-
even uncovered the mysteries of this planet
That's what
yet.
I'm saying.
I'm like,
with the worm poop.
Oh, shit, you're right. With the spice melange. We get a lot more worms in this movie.
Almost too many.
I don't know. They introduced the worms in the first one. And it's like not enough. They're basically Sarlacc.
That's what
in
I'm
the
trying to
first one.
say.
Yeah.
That there's a clunky between the two. Like you said, I want to sit down and re-edit and take a chunk of the first one and put it with the second, or the second
Chunk
one
of the
with
second
the
one,
first
the first one. Yeah.
And then we could have gotten another 20 minutes because the battle towards the end is too rushed. They're like, oh, the Emperor
Yes.
got my invite. Let's go win the movie.
Yes. I'm like, oh, I feel like this battle would have taken a couple days, at least. It's like,
Right?
now we're going to nuke those guys? You're going to get me in the throne room? I'm going to kill the fucking Emperor. Like, it's basically his plan or
He's like
whatever.
invincible.
Yeah.
This is how we're going to do it, and we're going to do it perfectly.
Well, because he knows. He like drank the life water, and
That's
now he's
true.
a Maldiv
See,
or
then
whatever.
you get too close to like my problem with Watchmen. When you have what's his name, Manhattan.
He's Doctor fucking Man.
Too much.
He's Doctor Manhattan.
He's Dr. Man. Because people are like, Superman's too powerful. No, Superman can at least die. Superman doesn't know everything. He is literally, I see everything and I know every path, so I'm going to obviously choose the path.
But he's not existing in all those times like a Doctor Man.
No, not.
He's aware of
But
them.
he's that close. Because when he like looks at his hand, he's like, I know all the paths in which to take that will, and I'm like, well, then why the fuck am I watching the movie?
He's too OP. He becomes too OP by the end of the movie. He's literally, I thought the exact same thing. I'm like, why is he Dr. Manhattan all of a sudden? He's got the blue eyes even. I'm like, why is he Dr. Manhattan?
We'll get a little spoilers. I'm not trying to spoil the movie too much, but the fight towards...
I mean, the book's been out for fucking
Right, I know.
50,
they don't really
80
change.
years,
They
like,
don't
at
really
this
change
point,
much.
so-
So if you haven't read it. But the fight with Austin Butler at the end.
Yeah. Which is what the
How?
whole movie's pretty much leading
Up to.
Yeah.
And they don't do a good... that was one of my complaints. They don't do a good enough job doing anything with building up. They make Austin Butler's character creepy, insane.
Yeah.
They have him fight a bunch of slaves that they don't drug or put shields on. They give him the chance to like really die, and they like he's super badass. And then he's not. You got to bring in like
What else is
another
he gonna
person.
fight?
That's
Who's
gonna-
more powerful?
Mhm.
Well, the Reverend Mothers, the Bene Gesserit, are
that's
like
true.
That's
what I kind of
higher
like.
ups.
They're like constantly pulling the strings to everything that's going on. And when she tells Florence Pugh, like, "Oh no, your dad's screwed no matter what happens."
Yeah, he's fucked.
Like,
Yeah. No, I liked it. You clearly did not enjoy it as much as I did.
oh no, I
but
definitely liked
fucking-
it.
Nah, you hated it. It's fine.
3. No, I'm just kidding.
I give this movie an 8 out of 10.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give it a 7.5. Well, I liked it.
You like almost fell out of your chair at 8, and then you're like 0.5 lower. Like, what do you?
Because you like you
what was
never
that?
you don't give movies 8s very often.
I like the movie.
I am happy.
I
I
think
mean-
I like the world more than I like the movie.
That's
that
where I
watched.
think I'm at.
Yeah,
I want to go like,
I
hey,
want
let's go
more.
check out
Yeah, let's go see some other things. You know,
because
Yeah.
when he's like leading the ones to paradise,
yeah,
they're going back to the other planet.
Caladan or whatever.
Right, like where
yeah,
they're from, because it's
Catalan.
all like
raining
green and
and water.
rain.
Yeah, I think they stay on Arrakis, because like
A chunk of them do.
that scene where like Anya Taylor-Joy shows up for like
That was her.
8
I'm like,
seconds
it has
in
to
the
be
movie.
her.
You
right?
recognize those
The
fucking
eyes.
eyes, the giant fucking eyes. And when they're blue in CGI, I'm like, oh, put those away. My eyes!
I thought it was either her or like a look-alike. She was doing an accent. That
Yeah,
was like
she was
not
doing a
British or
a Dune voice.
English.
yeah. When she shows up, she's like at the ocean, at the water. So when you say, hey, there's a 12-year time skip between this book and the second one,
Yeah.
I think that's supposed to be like her. Like
Is that like the sister?
that's a sister, right? So but somehow there's an ocean on Arrakis now. So I think they stay there and like
I think some do for sure.
use it to their strengths because they know the land. You know what I mean? Like these
Which they
Harkonnen are
hint the
gonna
whole
come.
movie. Like, have you even looked at the south, or you just assume that it's inhabitable because of the sandstorm?
I assume it's uninhabitable.
Oh,
Because of the Mad Max level fucking sandstorms that are in this fucking movie. Yeah, no, I
definitely
thoroughly
liked
enjoyed
it.
the world.
Like I said, my problem is I need another thing. It's
Yeah.
like the House of the Dragon when you were like, don't make me wait 2 years.
Don't make me wait 2 years.
Give
But
me-
this, you can go like, I'm just gonna go read the books.
That's
now,
true.
you
You're right.
know?
At least there's that.
Like, I literally picked up the first book and I'm like, I can't put it down. I'm like, I'm hooked on Dune because I can go like, this is Josh Brolin's character and that's fucking Jason Momoa and that's
Bautista.
fucking Oscar Isaac and that's Timothée Chalamet. I'm like, I know all these characters already. I know where this world's gonna end. I just want to get all the details leading up to that.
The stuff they had to cut.
Stuff they had to cut. Like you're not gonna hear all their inner voices. Like the author writes like their thoughts like down, like thought he, you know, and
Yeah.
like all that shit. I'm like, it's kind of annoying, but it like it gives you
Okay.
more
No,
of
I
an
got
element
you.
than you got from the movie. So definitely go watch it. Go watch this in IMAX. Do yourself a freaking favor.
Even if I didn't like it as much as you, go watch it because we need sci-fi movies that aren't Star Wars to be successful. Sincerely, like we need people to go, let's take a chance on another property that doesn't have to be fucking Star Wars.
This is better than most of the prequels, I'd say. Revenge of the Sith is
It's
iconic, but this is a
Definitely better than
movie.
most of the sequels.
It's way better than the sequel.
Probably all
trilogy.
3 of the
Probably
sequels.
all 3 of
the
them.
only one,
Force
yeah.
Awakens.
Rogue. I was gonna say I know it's not a sequel, but the Rogue One movie.
Rogue One's really
probably
good.
The only one
Okay.
that would be better.
That's barely a Star Wars movie.
It's
though.
barely, and it had a lot of these vibes, very down, very
Yeah.
dystopian.
No lightsabers. We're not doing fucking lightsabers. I'm glad no one in this movie has like cool laser blades or whatever.
Yeah, Zack Snyder. You don't have to have lightsabers to make a good sci-fi movie. J.J. Abrams.
Well, you do when Star Wars rejected your script,
True.
and you don't want to rewrite it.
It's true.
Mic drop, even though we don't.
Can we make?
Lapel drop.
That's what you do. 1 second. I gotta pop the clip.
Dramatic effect.
I'm glad we have something other than Star Wars. Truly, I am. But it does feel Star Warsy. You have like the chosen Luke Skywalker dude who has to go take down the Emperor, and I mean,
There's an emperor.
it's Star Wars.
There's a chosen one and an emperor. This is before Star Wars, though. 'Cause the book came out in like '69.
Was it 60s?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. So so Star Wars ripped off. Okay, so because I mean, he literally has like the Force powers. Use the inner voice.
Star Wars ripped off Dune. George Lucas ripped off Frank Herbert. Fucking, I'm just saying, he did.